How do I tell my boyfriend his mum is disrespectful and cruel? Looking for advice plus venting a bit. I don't know how to bring up to my partner that his mum can be pretty mean to me at times. She's a good mother to him, but he's an only child and definitely sees him as a bit of a golden boy. Both my partner and I live at home but spend a majority of the time at his. She always makes dinner for us, often makes breakfast, buys me nice presents at Christmas time and can be nice to me, which I am definitely thankful for, but this makes me feel like I should be grateful and not complain. She consistently undermines and disrespects me. Once having dinner with the parents without BF, I told them a historical fact. I studied history for a few years at uni, and she said, "Yeah, I don't know if that's true, we'll have to ask BF." And joked about how he knows everything. History is not his area of expertise. She takes credit for things I do, like flights I found because she helped look for others when she didn't like my flights. This was a trip with BF plus me, and both parents tried to completely take over the flight planning process, even going so far as to visit and talk to our travel assistant, and when we do tasks together she'll blame me for things that aren't my fault, either her fault or no one's. This weekend it came to a head when we stayed at the new cabin they built at their farm. She wanted to put up blinds and I cited that having them up will also keep in warmth. She just said maybe in an unbelieving tone, then several hours later said the exact same thing I'd said. Then when I was assisting in putting them up, I asked a valid question about measuring and she was rude and said it didn't matter. It did. She ended up making my BF put them up too high. And she was condescending and saying I was wrong about ideas I know worked. When out to dinner we went to a little cafe where BF's mum was a bit snobbish and rude and dad was a bit difficult. Mill was pleasantly surprised with her food and kept raving about it. The waiter, who was very helpful, modified my fried rice dish to remove the bacon. I was very thankful and told them that the dish was well prepared and nice but wasn't very flavorful. I wasn't bothered by that, it was clearly catering to a rural town demographic, which is totally fine. At the end she was raving about her meal and how the chef should work in a restaurant. My boyfriend said his dish was decent and she asked about mine. I said it was decent, but it's the whitest fried rice dish I've ever tasted. It was good though. My boyfriend even clarified for me before she responded, saying it wasn't spicy or flavorful enough, but she clearly didn't like my opinion. In a very condescending tone she said, "Sweetheart, they were nice enough to remove the bacon for you. Most places wouldn't do that, so you should be grateful." I clamored to explain that I'm very thankful for what they did, that it was still nice, just not my favorite. But I don't react well when someone is directly rude to me, so I got all red and hot and my eyes teared up. Phil asked if we wanted to go, so I thanked him for the meal and went to stand outside in the cool air as everyone else slowly gathered their things and came out. In the car ride home I had to hold back tears the entire time and lie when my BF kept asking if I was okay. I also hate when she's upset at him and tries to bond with me by bitching about him. I try my absolute best to be helpful and am super kind to her 100% of the time, but this behavior makes it hard to want to give her a hand or spend time with her because she doesn't respect me or the help I'm giving. It also worries me for my partner and I's future when we get a house or start having kids. I hate confrontation and I hate bringing down people's families, especially when my BF thinks so highly of his. I also fear that because he does think she's a good person and he likes solving things, that he'll want to talk about it with her, but I don't think that will solve anything. My boyfriend complains about Mill's brother and grandma being narcissistics, and I worry that it's the same type of behavior here. Anyone have any good advice? Comment. As others have stated, sit down with your boyfriend and point out all the things she has said and how it makes you feel. His reaction and how he chooses to handle it will tell you if he's a guy you want to spend time with. Because this will never end, I promise you. My boyfriend of 14-ish years, I am not the sentimental type, so we don't celebrate anniversaries, has an absolutely atrocious mother. She decided she didn't like me from the first time she laid eyes on me. She gave me dirty looks, ignored me, and spread lies about me. She'd also get weirdly touchy with my boyfriend. Totally creepy. I was civil and we would go to family events. The last straw was when we were at her house on Christmas Eve with her latest boyfriend. It was a very small house. Tiny. We were all standing or sitting in the kitchen. I was sitting right by the door. Her friends came in and they stood right in front of me. She introduced everyone, including his brother's dogs, but not me. Straight up ignored I was even there. We left shortly after and I told him never again. After all the other shit she would say and do, I couldn't be included in the Christmas gift exchange BC. I wasn't family. His brother got a divorce and his new girlfriend was immediately included while I was still excluded. I was done. He had two choices: tell her to clean up her act or she is not welcome in my life. It caused some serious issues with us for a while. When I laid it all out, how no one in my family has ever treated him the way his mom treats me, and that he doesn't stand up for me, he realized how shitty it actually was. It was either her or me. I have been NC with her for most of our relationship and he is VVLC. In the end, if your boyfriend isn't going to stand up for you, it's going to make your relationship very difficult and you will not be happy. Please consider borrowing from the library or buying a copy of this book. I found it helpful in my real life. Beverly Engel, The Nice Girl Syndrome, Stop Being Manipulated and Abused and Start Standing Up for Yourself, 2008. Last thought, you said I had to hold back tears the entire time and lie when my BF kept asking if I was okay. Stop lying to your BF, that behavior will over time pull you away from him in your head. Good luck op. Please consider borrowing from the library or buying a copy of this book. I found it helpful in my real life. Beverly Engel, The Nice Girl Syndrome, Stop Being Manipulated and Abused and Start Standing Up for Yourself, 2008. Last thought, you said I had to hold back tears the entire time and lie when my BF kept asking if I was okay. Stop lying to your BF, that behavior will over time pull you away from him in your head. Good luck op. Next story 2. Partner insists on going to his parents weekly for dinner. My partner insists on going to his parents weekly for dinner because he just thinks that's the way it's supposed to be. He started coming to mine weekly and now I'm pretty much obligated to go to his every week. I've told him that I'm fine with him not coming to mine every week and maybe coming every other week or so, but he wants to come because he likes hanging out with my parents and they're great cooks. It's not that I don't like his parents, they're nice people, but there are definitely things I don't like about them. They try to get a little too involved in our finances, which obviously I don't like. I became self-employed in the last year and they've made comments about how there should be 2 full-time salaries. My partner runs his own small business and he completely supports me in my endeavors, so it's not an issue between us. His mom opens his mail and looks at checks he receives from clients. His mail goes to his parents' house because we move around and our home is currently rented out. I don't even look at his checks, so I think that's a bit weird and invasive. I still get the rare piece of mail to my parents' house and they've never opened any of my mail. With the weekly dinners, they are pretty bad cooks and when they do cook something it tends to be unhealthy. I like to eat healthy, especially during the week, and I understand that they can cook however they like since it's their house, which is why I've told my partner I don't want to go there every week, or we can go there for coffee or something and not a meal, but he insists. They also argue a lot and get into fights probably every other week. I'm just getting frustrated. I never asked him to start coming to my parents' house every week. He did that on his own accord and now I'm obligated to go to his parents every week and I just think it's unnecessary. Comment. You're only obligated to attend if you accept his premise that you have to match his attendance. You have not required his attendance, he cannot require yours. I guess I could understand his viewing being that you go to your family's weekly dinner night once a week. But I also understand that you gave him an out, he didn't want that. And now expects you to also go. Have you spoken with him about how uncomfortable you're with his mother being involved in your finances? They do have PO boxes, which would be a better option if she's getting into his mail. This definitely calls for a conversation between you two about expectations and realistic plans. I eat at my parents' twice a week and hubby at his twice a week, but over a 2-week period, I only go with him once, but he comes with me twice due to work schedules and routines. Absolutely no one has any issues with this, and the actual evening we go can be changed for many reasons. Why doesn't he do the same? Everything that annoys you about his parents he's fine with. If he didn't want his mom in his business he would have fixed this long ago. You don't have a mill problem, you have a partner problem. He's enmeshed his parents to the degree mom opens his mail and he's fine it. That would not be okay me, but for some reason he's fine it. I do wonder what he shares about your personal business and income since he has no boundaries his parents.